Romeo, maybe someday we can be alone.
Joe, you ready?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Born ready.
Bonesaw is ready.
I feel the minutes count down on the clock again. Feel like I'm playing in a game that I can never win. Time is running out, I know I gotta make a choice. So many whispers in my ear that I can't hear my voice. Tell me, will it end the situation that I'm in? Or am I bound to sit alone, drowning in my sins? Get right or get left, what will it be? Time is running out, the blood is flowing down the streets. People need to know we're living in a war zone. Hit the streets with the truth.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loot Bros Podcast. I'm your host, Residentdarrell, and with me, I got Johnson Jammin' Joe.
Yo.
And making her valiant return, we got coming in Clutch Kalai.
What up, everybody? I just want to apologize to the to the community that I haven't been there. Bear with me. I will be back full time soon because I'd rather be here than what I'm actually doing. So,
Yeah, those pictures you sent us are pretty intense. So.
Oh, we had every room. So my father-in-law, anybody who doesn't know, my father-in-law passed away, and my mother-in-law needs to be in a nursing home because she has dementia pretty bad. So we have to sell the house. Well, they were hoarders. So we just spent weeks and weeks and weeks. I got every room. You could walk into the room. There's still a lot of clutter, but we're doing that because we want to have an estate sale. So the last time we were down there, they went up into the attic because they have two attics and brought everything down. They just three guys were just training all these boxes down. And now we have rooms just completely full to the max with more stuff. So I couldn't go. Yeah, it is. I couldn't go down this weekend because we're snowing. So I get a break this weekend. But we did find some toys, and I did find an original Nintendo that Jim never had. Jim never had a Nintendo. He never owned a Nintendo. We have no idea where it came from. And on top of that was the original Final Fantasy in the box with the manual and the map.
That's so cool. Totally worth all your time and effort for a gym like that.
Yeah, exactly. And, I found, we found Jim's old, what was it? It was a Odyssey. We also found an Odyssey with all the games.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but I'm almost done, and I almost will be back full time because I know everybody misses me. I feel bad.
So when you said they were hoarders, I was like, yeah. I have my grandparents had a lot of stuff. You live a long time, you accumulate a lot of things. I didn't think you actually meant hoarders because that term gets thrown around. And when you sent those pictures, I was like, holy crap, they're legit.
We found no less than 40 cans of paint. You open up a drawer. I kid you not. I opened up a drawer. I'm going through craft stuff because she owned a craft store. Here I'm throwing stuff. And then I found a bullet.
Just a random bullet?
Just a random bullet. I was like, what do I do with this? And I'm not a gun person. I'm not opposed to people having guns. I just don't like guns. That's just not who I am. I'm a peaceful person. And here I am calling my sister. I found a bullet. What do I do? What do I do? She's like, oh, put it in the mailbox. I'm like, I'm not going to put a bullet in the mailbox.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we got, there's lots of bullets in this house. Thousands of bullets in this house. So God only knows how many people are going to find when I pass.
Right. I mean, my father did have guns. I'm pretty sure. I don't know where they were in the house. I was never shown them. But he was a jeweler, so Oh
yeah, you got to protect your investment.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife wasn't a gun person either. You hear those stories where it's that kid found their parents' gun and then was playing with it and shot the neighbor or something like that.
Yeah,
or their brother and sister. Yeah, that was my wife. So, but what was happening was there was a kid in the neighborhood teasing her and her sisters, and so she went and grabbed the shotgun from behind the door and was pointing it at them. And so her dad grabs the gun, freaking out, and then shoots it in the air a couple times. Not in that moment, but like, to scare her, like, this is not a toy, blah, blah, blah,
Uh-huh.
And so when we got married, I've had guns my whole life. I used to hunt and hang out, do that kind of stuff with my grandfather and my dad. Target shooting is just like if it wasn't so effing expensive, we'd be shooting on a regular right now. But I mean, up until recently, we'd go on our lunch break, just go shoot guns, super, super fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I love guns. But I was taught proper gun safety and all those things, the things that you normally teach. My wife, on the other hand, was, like, not a big fan of this. I got this really weird story from when I was a kid. Not really wanting to have guns in the house when we had kids. And obviously you can see how that can cause a bit of a problem. You got somebody who's, I've been raised around and with guns my whole life. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And so I actually took her out on a date one night and we went to the gun range and shot, and she went in 1 hour session at the range from someone who I don't even think I want guns in the house to a freaking sharpshooter. I was like, how are you so good at this? So we had a blast. And now, just last night we had a bunch of friends over and she's like, oh my gosh, it's about time to buy another gun. It's about time to go shooting. So
I have a friend that bought his wife a pink Glock.
Yes. My wife and I were out just on a celebratory lunch date after I passed my freaking exam, which I'm so stoked about. We actually went to pick up some soccer gear and some athletic shorts and stuff for the kids. And I was like, hey, while we're here, let's go look at the guns. Let's just go see what they have in inventory, if anything. Ammo is so hard to come by. I was like, let's go. If they got ammo, let's pick up a box or 10, whatever. And so we go over and we look, and they didn't have anything like that, that we were interested in or something that we didn't have already. But I was like, let's pick you out a new one, babe. She's like, I already got a gun I really like. And I was like, let's, every couple of years you need to treat yourself, even if you don't think you need it. So, and for all you guys out there with daughters, you should buy a gun every single time your daughter has a birthday. And then whenever she inevitably grows up and has a boyfriend come over, you let the boyfriend meet your gun collection. Yeah, that's right. Tips to all the dads out there. Be like, you mistreat my daughter. And how old is she? 16? All right. Well, all 18 to 35 of these bad boys are going to be your friend. So sometimes you got to double up on those, double digit years. So this is the Loot Bros podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got some really great stuff planned this week. God, dog, I feel like a different person today, just not having the stress of that stupid exam on me anymore. We're going to toast it up. We got a lot of good stuff. Thankful for the patrons, all that. Joe and I sat down with one half of the White Boyz Wit Attitude and did a nice little interview. We're going to attach that to the end of the show. It was a good time, Joe. I don't know about you, but Michael was extremely nice, and that was a really pleasant, easy interview.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So he was cool, man. It was awesome too because he's a musician and a game developer. So it was kind of like a 2-in-1. It was like I get to talk to someone who does music, which I enjoy every chance I get, but also talking to a game dev, somebody who's actually, and I don't know, I've got some crazy good insight. I thought that just the trophy talk and the conversation we had about that specifically, like that's awesome. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I felt like we learned a lot, like in a very short interview. We got a lot out of that, and I was very impressed. Yes,
I thought it was very cool. So we're definitely going to have Michael back on, and we've been on a pretty good tear here. We've had a lot of different guests, coming from all over the creative space, and we haven't had one bad guest yet. We haven't had one guest that we had to pull conversation out of. Everything's flown very naturally. Very light editing on any of it. So it's been very cool, man. We've been very blessed to meet with some cool people. So let's toast it up. Let's get the show going. This week's toast goes out to our patrons. We got Redbeard Rick. We got the affectatious Sony Pony. We got El Presidente, the T-Bird. And we got My Name is Effin Mayo. Thank you guys for being this month's Patreon producers. We got a lot of freaking crazy good games. So since I passed my MLO, which I've been fighting with for several months now, I treated myself to Horizon Forbidden West. So I picked that up today. And Joe, you let me, right before the show, you share played the new WWE game. And I'm going to buy it right here on the show. So I'm going to treat myself again because that awesome game, dude, playing it even with the little bit of lag from share play, it felt pretty smooth and pretty fun. So I'm stoked. I'm excited. You and Zach have been talking about how great that game is. So we got a lot of good games. Obviously, Elden Ring still out there slaying. You said Gran Turismo is really good. I talked with CJ, and he said he actually had some good words to say about a GT7 as well. So very, very cool. Very cool.
I mean, that's interesting from the Microsoft snob over there.
Yeah. I guess Phil wasn't, maybe Phil let him off the payroll for a little while.
I mean, he lowered himself to play a PlayStation game.
He did. He had to come down from his high horse and play. So very, very cool. So lots of good stuff to toast to. So I've been my drink's been sitting over here for 2 hours now, 2.5 hours. I got started recording tonight at 7:30. It's 9:30 now, and so it's not near as cold as I prefer it, but it is still nice. Kalai, you have not been on the show in what feels like forever. Why don't you start us off with what you've been playing?
Well, I haven't been playing a lot, but I have been playing a few things.
All right.
So I'm starting to get better with my arm. So stupid me has been playing Just Dance 2022.
There you go. Pledged is pledged.
A pledge is pledge. I'm playing. And I was playing the other day and I did. Do you know the Taylor Swift song, Romeo and Juliet?
I don't think I do, actually.
Yeah, I know that one. Fair.
It's about a breakup, isn't it? Pretty sure.
No, it's about
Romeo and Julie. Someday we can be alone. That one, right?
Yeah. It's literally about it's Romeo and Juliet. The story. Yeah. They don't break up. They get together.
Yeah.
Well, if Taylor Swift's singing it, they're breaking up. So.
No, that's her real life.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'm playing this song, and it's supposed to be a duet, but you could play it single player. And during the game, you have to spin. You have to put your hands out and spin and cross your like you're spinning with another person. And here I am in my room singing and spinning by myself. Taylor Swift song.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I do have arthritis in my knees, so it's taking me a little slowly. I can't play the game as much as I would like to, but I'm getting through it. I will be reviewing it. I do have some thoughts, so that's coming.
Very cool. Super Loot Bros on the Patreon.
I have been also able to play mouse and keyboard, so I decided to start playing Halo Infinite. I am surprised I have not thrown my keyboard through my monitor.
Now you're playing the multiplayer?
No, I'm playing the storyline.
Okay.
When I started the storyline, I said to Jim, well, what difficulty level are you going to play, honey? He said heroic. I said, Jim, you're crazy. You can't play heroic. Because, in honesty, I'm a better gamer than he is, only because he likes the game. He loves the game, but he likes to play very specific games. He doesn't have a broader range like I do. And certain games I'm just better at, like first-person shooters. And he's like, I can play on heroic. Well, stupid-ass me said, oh, okay. Since you're playing on heroic, I have to play on heroic. So I'm slowly making my way through heroic heroic Halo Infinite. And my God, is that thing hard. It is ungodly hard.
So she said, oh.
And
what difficulty is heroic? Is that like...
It's hard.
It's hard mode.
After that, it's legendary.
Legendary, yeah.
And you have to get through heroic to unlock legendary. And
now the co-op campaign's not unlocked yet, right? Y'all are just playing by yourselves through the game, single player.
Yeah, it's definitely not, and you can feel it, and that's the sad part. So like, there's a lot of the fights that I was like, well, this fight would be really good if like you could use a warthog, because warthogs are available. They put warthogs in the game.
Yeah.
However, there's no point to having or using a warthog if you don't have that second player to jump in and drive.
Correct.
And the game would be a little bit better if I had, like, there's many fights I've just been like, if I had a warthog with Jim driving and me shooting, he would be able to dodge, and I would.
No, you ain't driving.
Oh, hell no. So the last game, I just started this today. You're gonna be very proud of me, Darrell.
Okay.
I started Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome. That's awesome. I really want to play that still.
It is my therapist wants me to start trying a little bit of gaming just to see how I do. I'm still in therapy. So she's like, you could play no more than 3 hours. And I want you to play an hour and take a break. So I have some impressions on my first time playing a PS5.
How is it?
Nice. I mean, that's like a 7-hour game too. You can knock it out in a week.
Yeah.
The adaptive triggers are weird.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Welcome to PS5. I turned it off for most games.
Oh, I don't turn it off for anything. I want every game that uses it.
I don't know, man. I can't I just can't play as long with the adaptive triggers on. That's why I don't use them as much.
I got them baby fingers, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just so weird. I'm like, why isn't it doing what I want to do? Oh, wait. I have to keep pressing.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I couldn't figure out how to the new menu, like the menu's just slightly different for me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to put it into rest mode. So I thought I did put it into rest mode and I didn't. So it stayed on, which was not a problem, except my controller stayed on. So when I went to play again, my controller was dead. So I learned that today. And then I also had to look up a tutorial on how to insert the disc.
Oh, just
you put it in backwards?
Which direction?
Yeah, I did. I was like, why is it reading it? Is my PlayStation 5 broken? I haven't even played it yet.
I mean, I did the same thing my first time. I put it backwards, so you're not the only one.
Wow. I can't say I did that, so sorry, guys. You're on your own.
Do you play yours vertically or horizontally, though?
Vertically.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, most people put it in wrong the first time.
Ah, well, that's what she said. Yeah, the adaptive triggers are interesting. I freaking love all the controller stuff, and I've heard people say that like their fingers get tired. Like it's like an adjustment to them. I haven't experienced that personally, but then again, I don't do crazy long gaming sessions, so I don't know how much of it is. I get enough of it to enjoy it, and then I long for it for the next time. But I think that some of the controller stuff is some of the best stuff in gaming right now, personally.
Possibly.
It's a very interesting way to play video games. I'll tell you that. Like for Gran Turismo, like you can definitely feel the difference in the cars and like the road and stuff. So yeah.
One of the first PS5 games I played. I mean, I played several, but like one of the first ones, and God, one of the most memorable ones, has been A Plague's Tale. Like feeling all those rats crawling through the controller.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
Was
no,
cool.
No.
Dude,
no.
In all the rat sections of that game, your controller is just popping. It's like popcorn in your controller. And if the rats are on the right side, all the little vibration and the little noise and it's just so neat, man. Like that game is freaking cool. Like that was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in a game. So
no.
That's totally one. Once you're back in full swing, you need to play through that game again on PS5. It's so cool.
No. I don't like really see. Here's the problem: is I don't replay games at all. Like I wouldn't replay Plague Tale because I have so little time to play video games. I just want to move on. Like I've already downloaded. I downloaded today the demo for Triangle Strategy, or its alternate name now, 3 Triangles.
Yeah. That game's really fun. Did you play it?
No, I haven't had a chance.
It's really fun, and that'll be a good game. Like, you know what, strategy RPGs probably be good for you to play because it's limited movement on your hand.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I downloaded it.
Turn-based RPGs would probably be good for you to play too. You should probably play a bunch of RPGs, honestly.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you don't have to move your hands a lot. You're not putting extraneous like button presses and like a lot of quick movement.
It's time for Kalai to play Persona.
Yeah, you should play. We should beat Persona 5.
Oh, well, I mean, just saying.
No, I technically have not beat Persona 5.
I thought you did.
No, I haven't. I got to get back to it. It's on my list.
Do that then. Play Persona 5. That'd probably be actually a pretty good game to play right now.
I know. I also just want to play more Ratchet and Clank.
No, that's good. That's good. So you're enjoying it?
So far, I like the humor. And the only thing I'm disappointed in is that there's a female version of Ratchet. And I really want to play the female version.
Well, you get there. From what I understand, that's the bulk. I haven't finished. I haven't even put that game in yet, actually. But from what I understand, that like that's a large chunk of the game is playing as the female version.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Rivet is her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one sitting right here beside me, and that's one of those games I was like, as soon as I'm done, man, I'm freaking diving in. I've got a handful of games that are like 10 hours or less that I'm like going to marathon through. So I've already been hired and I've got my onboarding paperwork for my MLO job. So I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh, wow. You already got a job too?
Oh my gosh. I had a job 30 minutes after I passed the test. So it's moving fast, which is cool because it gives me freedom in general, you know? But like, you know, I don't want to go all in up front because I don't want to leave, you know, where I'm at just yet. And I don't know that I want to leave them hanging or anything crazy like that. So I was just kind of like, all right, well, I'm going to learn the job. And then, you know, just kind of, I really wanted, with everything I've ever done in life, it's been like thrown into the fire. So I was like, man, I'll like take a few weeks, get some really good extensive training in. Like I'll learn, you know, this is going to be cool, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, boom, 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 boom. So I don't know. Next week I could be like, all right, guys, I have fully transitioned into a full-time MLO. So, which don't get me wrong. Like that would be amazing because that is instead of having a job, I'm like embarking on a actual career now. And, you know, my wife is so super proud and excited, which is really cool. From a husband's perspective, it's like, man, I'm really glad that like that my wife is A, super supportive, but B, like she's very pleased with what I'm doing. And because I am a 4-time college dropout, so she didn't think this day was ever coming.
Wait, 4 times?
Yeah, so I immediately out of high school, I went to a technical college for an automotive program.
Oh, that's cool.
And well, it was in theory until I did it, and I thought it sucked. So I quit. The problem was this: is you had to you like at the time, you know, this is 2004. You had to take a bunch of like book classes and get on a waiting list to get into the program. The program was in such high demand. So I was going to have to be on a 2-year waiting program and just waste a bunch of time. So rather than just aimlessly take a bunch of classes, I was like, well, then instead of going for a certificate to learn how to work on a vehicle, I'm just going to go for the associate's degree and actually become like a legit mechanic. And my idea was I wanted to open up a body shop. At the time, you know, Fast and the Furious was super popular, like the original ones. Yeah. And all of us had the little, you know, ricers with double-decker spoilers and all that crap. And we're like putting all these aftermarket parts on our vehicles. And I really wanted to learn how to do body work.
I would just like to point out that you were in high school and like Everybody was watching Fast and the Furious.
He was Tokyo drifting, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
on his lunches, he was like, I live my lunch breaks a quarter mile at a time.
That's right. Recess, baby.
Or a quarter pounder at a time, you know.
Both.
Whichever one he was into, you know.
So,
I was way past college when the first one came out.
So, yeah, well, I went to the movie theater after school and watched the first one. And then I watched the second one. And I had two Mitsubishi Eclipse. So I had the one that was in the movie, but I didn't have a GST. I had the GS, but I bought a turbo to put on there and never did because I wrecked it. And
you do not take me as a Japanese car enthusiast at all.
And man, I've gone through I'm an onion. You know, there's different layers. I've gone through changes in life. So it's I've done it all. Joe, I can sit here and we could go through my 20s to my 30s, and I've lived probably 2 or 3 lifetimes.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm a lot more boring now, but yeah. So I was into the Ricers. I was into, you know what I'm saying, putting the loud exhaust on there. I had the Mitsubishi Eclipse, all that good stuff. And then so I did my first semester in automotive, and I was like, this blows. This sucks so bad. So my wife and I, we were dating. We ended up breaking up. Had a little high school spat breakup thing. Because I mean, I was in college then. She was finishing high school, and I ended up like just dropping out of the class. I was like, I was miserable outside of school. I was miserable with school. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. So then I went back the following year and signed up for a business class. And I was like, I've always wanted to open my own business. The reason why I went into automotive in the first place is because I eventually want to open my own business. I'm just going to go learn business and then figure it out. And so, you know, me and my wife got back together, and obviously from there we ended up getting married. But I ended up dropping out of the business class. We had started the band somewhere around in there. And so I started traveling, doing a bunch of stuff with the band, whatever. And then I had gotten really like super involved in the church, which I was already involved, but I started teaching. And, it was kind of like encouraged that like you go to school and get like, you know, some sort of a degree or certificate in Bible. And I was like, oh, dude, that's a really good idea. I would love to know more on a historic level and like learning, you know, like Hebrew, Aramaic, things like that, like learning how to like, you know, read the old text and all that good stuff. So I did a seminary extension course that would then allow me to transfer into a full-blown seminary school so then I could go into some sort of ministry full-time. That was the idea. And so I was working full-time. I was in the church, you know, several days a week. And then I was touring with my band, and my wife and I had just got married, and she was like, this is not working. You can't be gone every single day of the week. Something's got to give. And I was like, you know what, babe, you're right. And I'm really, really good at dropping out of school. So I dropped out. I dropped out of seminary school. So then fast forward a decade, and I've been over here at Performance Strength where I'm at, you know, now, and I've been doing CAD design and like CNC programming for several years. And I had gotten to the point where I had all the promotions that I thought I could get. I was getting a little bored. I was very set in what I was doing. And I was like, you know what? I'm really good at this. Maybe I should learn the professional way to like, I'm self-taught in everything. Self-taught in music, self-taught in production, whether that's good or bad, that's up, you know, that's debatable. Self-taught in design, self-taught in CAD, all that stuff. I've never gone to school for any of it. And what I did go to school for, I dropped out of. So that wouldn't have done me any good anyways. So I was like, let me sign up for an actual computer aided drafting. And I'm going to learn CAD, and I'm going to start doing freelance work, you know, and maybe transition into working for myself. Again, the idea has always been be my own man, be my own boss. And so I started doing the CAD stuff, and like got this promotion to be the production manager of the entire facility. So that was 2.5 years ago. So I was about 49% done with the CAD class. And COVID, I got this position change. So I did like a little like program extension. I was like, hey guys, I'm not actually even doing CAD work right now. Like, can I postpone this till I get trained? And things were chaotic at work. We were super busy, blah, blah. Long story short, COVID hit. All the class stuff got kind of pushed. And then we got so insanely busy at work, I never went back. And then I eventually timed out and was considered a college dropout for the 4th time. So then, okay, tangentially to all of this, my sister got into the mortgage business and got extremely successful, right? Like she's so incredibly successful. She owns multiple businesses and brokerages now. And, right before I got my promotion, but while I was doing the CAD class, I was like, hey, if you should teach me how to do this and I can work with you on the side. And if I like it, you never know, I might jump in the business with you. We could do a family business. Again, I'm going to, do my own thing, be my own man. And so, I got involved with that and kind of dug it, but things got so busy at work. I was like, well, I'll eventually go to school and get my license. And so last November, I finished the course. I passed my test yesterday, got my license. And so now I am employed. I finally finished a program. I am no longer a college dropout. So I don't have some crazy degree or anything, but it's a start.
That's all right. That's all it takes is a start.
You don't need a crazy degree. They're crazy expensive and crazy student loans.
Oh, don't worry. I did all the student loans and had no paper to tell me I did good. So I totally get that. And my wife's like all the time, like, oh, the kids in college. I'm like, look, well, we might not be doing college. Like, she's master's prepared, all that stuff. Like she might even go back and get her doctorate eventually. Like that woman is so incredibly smart and she's so good at just school book work, like teaching. Like she's just like, I always tell you, she's brilliant. That's something, she's very special in that. And so for her, it's always like, oh, no, kids are going to go to some nice school. They're going to do good, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, play music, travel, go to school, maybe drop out a bunch, But we're a little different in in that aspect. So, but it's been really cool, man. Like I said, seeing her, satisfied and, excited at the same time. So it's been neat. I'm not sure how we got here, but that was a lot to a nice little story for you guys.
Yeah, that was a tangent.
That was a nice tangent in the middle of what you've been playing. This is why our what you've been playing section every week is 55 minutes long,
Yeah. So in celebration of Kalai, were you done?
I was actually.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I have. Like I said, I haven't been playing much because I'm still healing.
Okay. Well, as you can see, nothing's changed since you've been gone. Lots of rambling, incoherent speeches, and constant interruptions. So, welcome back. So as far as me, I haven't played much either because I've been studying, and I've been since I failed my exam in January, I've been very serious about like not playing games. I played a lot when we had COVID in the house and everyone was sick, but like. That's because we couldn't go anywhere and couldn't do anything. And so I would do a minimal studying and then some gaming. But then through the entire month of February, I basically didn't play hardly anything. And so as soon as I passed, I bought Horizon and fired up Resident Evil 4. And that's all I've done all day long. I've been playing Resident Evil 4 on PS4 all day. So I'm at the Krauser fight right now. So I am getting close to the end of the game. And what's funny is I've never actually beat this game on PS4. So I like loaded up a very early game save. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Because I beat it for one of the backlog beatdowns. I beat it on Xbox One recently, like in recent year, 2 years, whatever. And so it's incredible how like I play this game and it's like, it's so good. Like I forget how good this game is until I play it. So totally having a blast over here. That's it. That's literally the only game I've played.
Nice. Joe? Because Joe's got a lot of stuff.
I'll round this out this week. I did play a lot of stuff this week. I just picked up a game today called Shing, and I played it on PS4 and PS5. It kind of plays like one of those. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, 4-player co-op. Like I said, you can play on PS4, PS5. But the cool thing is, there's like the default controls, and then there's modern, and then there's like basic controls. Basic controls, you can use like the square button and like base buttons to do all your different moves. But if you play with the default controls, it's kind of like playing a twin stick shooter where you move with the left stick and you do all the combos with your right stick. But the combos are done like Street Fighter combos. So like you can do like quarter circle, half circle, and it does like a fireball. Or you can just like swing aimlessly and just kill things. But I'm really digging it. I beat the first level with Corey today. We actually got like the highest rank you can get on the first level, which is really cool. The game's fun. I'm liking it. You can unlock costumes for your guys. There's 4 different characters. There's like this axe guy. There's like 2 super sexy chicks. Obviously, Corey and I played the sexy chicks. That's what we do in every game when there's chicks. We play. Oh, sorry, Kalai. Women. We play as women. We play as women. So yeah,
the one in the red is with the slit in her dress.
Yeah. Oh my god.
She was good.
Yeah, she's nice. She has like a one like a kind of like a spear. It's pretty dope. Yeah, the game's freaking cool though. I'm definitely gonna beat it. I'm gonna beat it twice probably.
And then he's gonna play the game. Got him.
Oh man.
Hadn't pulled that one out in a while.
That was good. It's good. Good one. Other than that, I played on my Switch a little bit. I played 2 games this week on my Switch. I played a little more of Ys 8, and that game's absolutely phenomenal. Well, I would suggest that right now. It's really taxing on your fingers because it's a action RPG. It's a action RPG where you have a party of 3 members and you can switch on the fly, and each one has like different attacks and different combos you can do. Pretty sweet game though. I'm loving it. Probably the best action RPG I've played since I played Rogue Galaxy on the PS2. So it's high praise. Rogue Galaxy is probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time. It's in my top 5. So this is slowly. This is already in my top 10. I'll put it that way. Like this game is huge praise for me. It's a really long game. I think I played 7 hours and I'm still in chapter 2. So I'm digging this game a lot. I would recommend it. It's on the Switch, PS4, and I believe it's on Xbox as well. So you can check it out pretty much everywhere. Steam, I think, as well. I played a little bit of Mario All-Stars, or Mario 3D All-Stars Collection. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. I played the infamous Mario, what the hell is Mario Sunshine. I played the infamous Mario Sunshine, the one everyone hates and I love. I played that for a few hours today. The control scheme is really like effed up on the Switch for that game. I don't know why. It just doesn't like play right. It doesn't seem right. But I played a few levels in that. I got like 6 or 7 shines, which are like the equivalent of stars from like Mario 64. So I was doing that. And then the bulk of my week is spent playing 2 specific games. The first, more Gran Turismo. So I played about another 10 hours of Gran Turismo. I think I'm at like 20 or 25 hours, which is pretty like not bad for me, but not great. I had a lot of work to do this week at work, so I've been really busy and I'm getting home late, so I've been going to bed pretty much when I get home. Very, very minimal. I would do like my daily workouts for Gran Turismo. And for those of you who don't understand what that is, because you don't have the game, the daily workout is like driving 26 miles in the game. So it's just like a few races here and there. Unlock some cars, or I'll just do like races where I race the same track over and over again, get enough money to buy 1 car, and then I'll just go to bed. I've been doing that. I was doing that pretty much every night until Tuesday, and then WWE came out, and my world changed because that game's freaking awesome. And it's even more awesome now since like everybody has it, and not just like the people who ordered it early have it. Like the creator wrestler scene on that game is absolutely phenomenal, and the fact that the game is substantially better from last year's game, like substantially better. Like I don't even know if like substantial is the right word to use because it's like leaps and bounds. It's like last year's game was like Superman 64, and this year's game is like. It's like freaking Elden Ring compared to that game. Like, it's that good. It's like that different. I feel like the controls are just... I know Darrell played it
Surprise!
Surprise! Elliot's on the show. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Get your
She
debut.
ghosted.
Go ahead. Talk. Say hi.
Does she want to build a snowman?
You want to build a snowman, Darrell asked?
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Got her.
So this is my daughter, Elliot. She's 5 years old. She's being a very interesting child right now, naughty girl, because she came in the room with Daddy's recording, and you know not to do that, right?
I just need to.
You just need to fix your hair. Go have mommy do it. You can do it yourself. So now you're hijacking my show. Yes.
And I just need to fix my phone.
You just need to fix your bow. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
You have to speak in the microphone.
Hi.
What's up?
Hello.
Come on.
All right.
Wow.
All right. I'll see you later. All right. Can you go downstairs, please? I'll see you when I'm done. Okay. All right. Love you. Bye.
That's so funny. Both of our daughters have been on the show tonight.
Oh, she's not leaving. You gotta go, sweetheart. Okay.
No.
She said this is getting
No.
dangerous.
I'm not gonna leave.
Hold on. So, yeah. So WWE 2K, I let Darrell play, and he was
Yes.
definitely impressed. And like I said, the control schemes are definitely like a little bit of a learning curve. But I feel like you can do much more with the control scheme that they added this year compared to like any years past. Like it's just a wildly different game, and they weren't kidding when like the whole tagline for the game was like it hits different, because it 100% hits different this year. Like it's way different than it's ever been any other year. Like I think they've done a really good job at creating a good stepping stone for next year and a good template for what they can build on for years to come. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys heard the news though. Apparently, WWE's doing the dumbest thing possible, and they're talking to EA Sports now about.
Yep.
And I'm like, do you want the same fucking game every year for the next 20 years? That's all Madden is. The same thing every year, and my dumb ass still buys it. But
Yep.
just like I buy this game every year. It's just definitely nice to have a wrestling game after 2 years, 2.5 years. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a breath of fresh air. I've been going through the Superstar showcase mode, and you get to play as Rey Mysterio.
Superstar.
Smell my armpits.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh yeah, that is Pat. No, she smells her armpits. She puts her hands in her armpits, and then she goes, and then she smells them.
And then she says that's bad. Or that's not good.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm mixing my SNL shows up now. Pat is a terrible movie, though. It's probably the worst SNL movie of all time.
It is, but you know what? The skits.
I'm
on it-
Pat. Oh. Anyway, so it's a fun game. I'm actually doing a tag team title tournament right now as we're recording this, and I'm watching it as we're recording this, and I'm just letting the computer play out the matches. And this is like the first year in a long time, Darrell, where the computer actually plays out competitive matches, not just one-sided the whole match. And I think that has to do with like the complicated like reversal and blocking system in this game, and how the momentum bars work in this one. So
It's dope, man. It's dope. Yeah, I'm buying it. I don't know if I'm going to buy it digital or physical because I don't know that my boys would play it with me online. So I'm thinking about just picking it up tomorrow. I got to run to Walmart, and they didn't have it in, when I went Thursday. So
No.
we'll see. We'll see.
You could buy it digitally.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
I
know
would
that
just-
if I'm going to buy it digitally.
I would just go all digital at this point, because I feel like at this point, like I've even caught the digital bug for PS5, where like I just don't like, because they give you a PS4 and a PS5 copy.
Should just stop recording.
So now I know that they sell the digital deluxe version that has both, but if you buy the PS4 version, do you get the PS5 upgrade?
You have to buy the next gen bundle for $80. You have to spend $10 more.
So they're one of those companies that's not
No,
giving you the PS upgrade for free. Okay.
most companies aren't anymore. Like they're just not. Like
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're getting to the end of this whole little run anyways.
no, we're not. No, we're not. If you look at like the upcoming games, a lot of them are PS4, PS5 for like the rest of the year.
Well, I think after what happened in the UK, we might be coming to an end. Did you hear what
Well-
happened? If you bought Elden Ring on PS4, you also got the PS5 upgrade for free.
You get that anyway. Elden Ring is one of the ones where it's free.
Right.
Yeah, it's so weird how they pick and choose.
And Horizon's one of the ones where all you had to do was buy the PS4 and you got the PS5 upgrade. Gran Turismo was the same way. If you bought the PS4 one, you got the PS5.
Right. So people were going out and buying the PS5, not realizing that they could buy the PS4 $10 cheaper because your PS5 game is now $10 cheaper.
I know, but I think that they just didn't care. Like a lot of people want the new case. Like they're like adamant about. All right, now I got to build my PS5 collection, and I've talked to tons of friends about it,
Yeah.
and that's like literally their answer. I have to have the PS5 case.
That's what I'm doing.
I have so many PS4 games that like the PS5 cases look ugly in my case with the rest of them. So honestly, I'm so hooked on the PS4 case. So
My thing is this: I really want the PS5 version if it's offered because I want the haptic feedback. I want the adjustable triggers. I want all that stuff, you know. So like but then again, I want the physical version. I want both versions if I can. Like I'm torn. It's just too many options right now. So, and I don't want to go digital unless I have to. That's a hard and fast rule. Now, see, I bought Horizon digital because the way I've got everything set up is I'll play upstairs on my PS5. My oldest his PS5 is my primary, so he'll play Horizon on there. And then my youngest, because that one, I bought the PS4 version, he'll have Horizon on the PS4 Pro, which is my primary PS4. So I've got it set up to where I bought that game because everyone wanted it, and so everyone's going to play that one. But that's that. So you got anything else you've been playing, Joe?
no, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I've just been amazed, and I haven't even touched like half the modes in WWE 2K. Like I mostly play universe mode because I like to like make my own federation and see how that goes. But I definitely want to play like my Rise, and I definitely want to play like my faction. The only thing I think is interesting about my faction, Darrell, is it's all offline. So there's like it's like Madden, it's like Madden Ultimate Team, but it's all offline. So you can't like buy pack. I don't think you can buy. I think you can buy VC to buy packs, but you don't like you can't take any of it online to play with people online. It's all offline. So it's very interesting the way they did it.
Okay, there you go. Cool.
But I definitely recommend if you're on the fence about 2K, like hit me up if you're PlayStation friends. I'll let you play it, and it'll definitely change your mind because Darrell was hooked like in like 5 seconds.
Dude, so I picked an intentionally clunky character. I picked Razor Ramon, who I am a huge fan of, but the bigger guys like him, they tend to be a little more clunky. I mean, they just tend to not move around. Then I played against AJ Styles, who's notoriously a more agile character, and it played smooth as butter. It was good. It was real good. So I totally dug it. All right, let's head on over to the Loot Bros leaderboards. Now, I've been giving you guys like weeks to just get all over the leaderboards and get all your trophies and pass me on the backlot beatdown. All right, well, your time's up, suckers. So here we go. The last week that I won't be on the top 5 of the Loot Bros leaderboard, we're going to go to truetrophies.com. We got Dat One Seagal. He is back. 514 trophies.
Dude, he went on a chumping spree, man.
Yes, he did. He went hardcore.
And he admitted it in the Facebook group.
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't playing around, and he said he's gonna dethrone Affectatious Donk, and he did. So that was a big week for you. Good job, buddy. Glad to see you're back. These whole little burnout sprees you got going on, they're not good for you. They're not good for us. Yeah, they're not good for anybody. So, welcome back. All right, second place, Affectatious Donk with 182 trophies. Affectatious Donk's playing some Horizon Forbidden West. So,
he's playing a real game? Shit.
He's playing real games. Yeah. So, third place, Redbeard Rick, 33 trophies. Fourth place, MrTmnt 84 with 28 trophies, playing a little bit of 2K22. So, and I'm actually going to shout out number 5, 5th place, Gaz Davis 11, 25 trophies, but he's been playing some Sacred Symbols Adventure, the Twin Breaker. He's been playing on the Vita. So got to give the Vita love anytime we can.
I really want to play Twin Breaker. I heard it's great.
It's good, man. It's the most unique brick breaker I've ever played because you get 4 paddles in certain levels. So you got 2 on the bottom that go left and right, and then you got 2 on the sides that go, vertically up and down. And it's pretty interesting. And playing on the Vita was especially interesting. So it's definitely a cool game. So, and then we're going to head on over to the True Achievements leaderboard. In first place, we have Sadik with 5,310 achievement points, or gamer score. We have the Alpha Seagal with 1,265 achievement points, or gamer score. We have I'm Styling on You Bro in third place, the Sultan of Simulation with 530 achievement points.
Oh my god, he needs to change his gamer tag to Sultan of Simulation.
That's his
Sultan of Stimulation.
So that's his little slogan under his name on the True Achievements, the Sultan of Simulation, or Stimulation rather. He's got 530 achievement points or gamer score. In fourth place, we have the Loot Bros' own Bearded Nerd with 260, playing some World of Tanks. In fifth place, bringing up the rear with Sony Pony to You with 230 achievement points. That's crazy. That's the lowest I think I've ever seen that account. So good job, everybody else doing the thing. All right, Kalai, you got the backlog beatdown brought up, or you need me to do it?
If you don't mind doing it. I'm lucky. I told Joe before we started how my day started, which I didn't get a chance to tell you, and I'm not going to tell it on the podcast, but Joe knows that I'm having a day, right, Joe?
A great day.
I know, right?
Yeah, well,
thank you.
We have them. Those days exist. All right, first place, CJ, 33 points. Second place, Diego, 32 points. Third place, Gareth with 29 points. Fourth place, Residentdarrell, 26 points. Tied with JT for 26. There you go. We got next up, we got Redbeard Rick with 22. Joe with 16. I'm Styling on You Bro with 14. We got the Bearded Nerd with 10. And then next, we got a 3-way, with Alex, Homer, and Corey with 9 points. Then we got Noah the Builder with 8. Then we got another 3-way with James the Nerd, Jared, and Tricky, 7 points. Then you got I Yield to No One with 6. MZ with 5. You got James McCall and T-Berg with 3. And then you got a big old group with 2. You got Jim, John Michael, Kalai, Levi, and Spider Packs with 2 points each.
Yep, I'm waiting for the day that I make my grand comeback.
Yep, it'll happen one of these days. So, but yeah, if you guys want to be a part of the Backlog Beatdown and you're new to the Loot Bros podcast, all you got to do is beat a game and take a screenshot of the credits rolling. You can use an achievement pop or a trophy pop, whatever the case may be. Send it in, use the hashtag BLB3, and we will add points to the spreadsheet. The way the points break down are pretty simple. If the game released in 2022, the game is worth 1 point. If it's older than 2022, putting a little more emphasis on the backlog, you get 2 points. And if you 100% or platinum the game, you get an additional point. So you can get up to 3 points per game. And it's pretty dope. Pretty good time. We have a little bit of stipulations on how long the games have to be. So the game itself has campaign or story mode has to be longer than an hour. And then for the 100% or platinum, it has to be more than 5 hours or more. So outside of that, man, that's us. That's what we got. So I'm going to end this segment of the show with the only leftover community question we have. So we a little bit later on in the show, we're going to have an interview section, and we have a fair amount of community questions that are sprinkled in as we meet with the one half of the White Boyz Wit Attitude. But I'm styling on your bro wrote in, and he wants to know what you lads think of Gran Turismo 7's trophy list, and are you still excited to platinum it? He says personally he's disappointed there isn't a trophy for earning gold medals on everything. The game will be just too easy and not as rewarding as GT5. What do you think about that, Joe?
Wait, I have a question first before he goes into this.
Sure.
Who wrote this question is?
I'm styling on you, bro.
I'm styling, bro. This is, I just want you to, how long have you been listening to this podcast? These people don't do hard. I mean,
what the heck?
He's saying that the trophy list is going to be way too easy. And he's talking to a whole bunch of groups who plays platinums like they're going out of style.
I can't disagree, but I want you to know I feel personally attacked.
Oh man, we should have. I forgot to shout out the greatest game that got announced this week that we could have toasted to. I'm so pissed right now.
Oh yeah, you totally screwed that up.
Oh
dude.
my god, dude! All right,
Answer the
question, and then I'm going to derail the show. Yes.
There we go.
All right, so I looked at the trophy list, and when I didn't even look at it before I bought the game because I was like, oh, this is going to be impossible anyway. It's not too impossible. I would say the hardest thing to do in the game is going to be to get all gold medals on the license plate stuff or in the license test. But I actually don't think it's that hard because you can change the traction on your car, the traction on each course, and I feel like it makes it a lot easier. It's just trial and error. It's just racing your ghost at that point and just getting faster and faster and becoming more familiar with the game, the mechanics, and how to play. And I think that'll get you to platinum. I mean, I have 23% of the trophies, and I'm only like 20 hours in the game. Like I'm not even trying to get trophies. They're just popping all over the place. I will say, for those who want to double plat this game, I don't know if it's possible. I don't know yet because I think there's a trophy for beating all the menus, and because the game is linked to a server, you can't do that because your save file is linked. You'd have to delete it and start a whole new save file, and I would never do that because it's just you pour your blood, sweat, and tears into Gran Turismo games and you play them. So I don't want to do it twice because I don't think you can. I don't think you can erase your. You'd have to erase your entire save file to do it again.
Trophy coming in hot, baby.
All right, so now that we got that out of the way, so at the PlayStation, are we talking about the state of play?
We totally can because
let's do it right now. I mean,
Kalai, did you watch the state of play?
No, I haven't had it.
I mean, you didn't miss much, but you missed the greatest game of all time being announced. It was decent, Daryl. It was out of a 5, I would give it a 3.5.
I'd give it all 5 personally.
You're in fucking control, dude. I mean,
so here's what you got to look at, right? And this is the way that I think Aaron Greenberg or those guys explained it. It said with a conference or a showing or whatever, he said you got to have 3 things for everybody, right? That's kind of the goal. So like not everything listed is going to be for everybody, but if 3 things are for you, then it's a win. And I think that we can easily pick 3 things that apply to you and 3 things that apply to me. So
I mean, Valkyria Chronicles getting a basically a new game that looks absolutely phenomenal. Fuck you, JT. It doesn't look shitty. Graphics snub you.
But I mean,
the game looks fun. I think the game looks really cool. I mean, I love how Capcom faked us out and we thought we were going to get a
Dino Crisis,
brand new Dino Crisis game. And they were like, fuck you guys. Nope.
They even showed
shooting out of portals. I'm like, the fuck is this game?
Dude, they showed a redheaded chick wearing tactical battle gear,
I know,
looking just like Regina, and they're like, nah.
I was so mad. I was like, this would definitely be Dino Crisis 4. They're in kind of space, or maybe they're coming back from space. Maybe this is a direct sequel, like right after they come out of space from the game.
Oh my gosh! Hey, we're back from space, and all of a sudden there's portals.
I was like, what the fuck is going on in this trailer? And then the other cool thing was that like Western like samurai game that looked pretty snazzy. Can't remember the name of it, but it looked cool.
Yeah, Trek Tumon or something.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like we have a professional podcast, we remember names of shit. And then so after the Gundam game, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I see Ninja Turtle, and then they fly into a sewer. and then they show the Game Boy game, and I'm like,
Yes.
and at first they're like Cowabunga collection, and I'm like, no, they're doing this. This is really happening. Like, we're getting every game, and then they just keep flying through each game, and I'm like, oh my god, Manhattan Project. Oh my god, we're getting the first game on Nintendo. Oh my god, we're getting the second game. Oh my god, we're getting all 3 Game Boy games. Oh my god, we're getting the arcade game. Oh my god, we're getting Turtles in Time. Oh, we're getting all 4 versions of, or all 3 versions of Tournament Fighter. What? For $40?
Yeah, dude, that is
And it's
day
coming-
one.
And it's coming physical?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I
Yes.
literally almost crashed my car while driving it. Because someone, I will not mention their name, sent me a text message that it got announced. And I was like, what? Because I couldn't watch the State of Play live because I had to go pick my daughter up.
Right.
So I almost crashed my car because I see the text. I'm like, I know what this is because it can only be one thing. So I pull my car over the side of the road, very, very gingerly, and I watch the video, and I'm literally like slamming on the steering wheel and getting all hyped. While
And
I have
then the airbag busts out.
I have my hazard lights on the side of the road because it's raining, and I don't want anybody to hit me. Let's pull over all the way to the side though. It's New Jersey, but try to be nice about it. But I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is the greatest collection of video games ever assembled. This is like Mario All-Stars for Turtles fans. Like, I definitely hit up the Turtles Facebook group, and there was already like 50 people who already posted this. Immediately, there was like 50 different people posting this all at the same time. And like, I can't wait to like play this with you, Darrell, and with a bunch of other friends of the show. It's going to be fucking sweet, dude. I am platinuming this game. It is my sole mission of 2022 is to platinum this game. I don't care what it takes. It will happen. This is my holy grail of platinums now.
Yes.
I want this platinum. And I don't think it's going to be too difficult because they did say that there's rewind features in the game.
I saw that.
For those of you who suck at the water level, you suck at life. That's not because it's not hard. I don't know what you're smoking. You just got to learn how to. You have to learn how the mechanic works.
And get good.
I'm not going to explain it right now. It's not Elden Ring difficult. But yeah, I am super duper jazzed about this game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection looks absolutely phenomenal.
It does, dude.
And the artwork, if that's the cover for the artwork, I want a poster of that so bad. I changed my Facebook banner to the artwork for the collection. I was like, this collection artwork looked cool because it has like all the different like sprites from the different games, and it just looks amazing. And apparently, this is the year of Ninja Turtles. Like, this is the year, man. We're getting a brand new game. We're getting this collection. Who knows what else we're gonna get? But I never thought in my lifetime I would ever see all these games bundled together. Like, never.
Me either. That was so cool, dude. And what sucked is I was leaving work and I had to go pick up my wife's van from getting service, right? And so, friend of the show and former guest of the show, Game Squat, he was like, pulls his phone out. He goes, "Oh, they just announced the Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection." I was like, "Stop it. Stop right now. I can't watch the State of Play. Don't read anything else." And I was like, of course he would spoil the biggest release or reveal on the collection.
It's crazy.
Or on the State of Play.
It's just crazy how this wasn't in that Nintendo Direct. Like, I don't get it. This is like perfect for that audience. And it wasn't in that Direct. Like, it just made no sense. And I was like, okay. And like, Konami, like, fuck making new games, Konami. Just make these collections. Because so far, you've knocked it out of the park with every single one you've done. I bought all of them. I bought all of the Mega Man, or not Mega Man. I bought all the Castlevania ones you've done. I bought the Contra one.
I bought the Contra. Yep.
I bought the Galaga one, or the whatever the space shooter one was that has like a bunch of space games in it. That was cool.
Yeah, Darius or whatever.
No, it was like classic shooter collection or whatever. I bought that one, and I bought the Castlevania one, and I bought the Castlevania Advance one, and they're all worth your money. They put a lot of artwork in these games and a lot of different cool things that you can definitely check out. And I just can't believe we're getting a physical version of this off the bat.
Yes,
like, I'm jazzed because they even said it in the announcement that they're not like going to do like limited run. They're just going to release it physical themselves. And I'm like, oh, where can I pre-order this? And when is it coming out?
Yes. So
I was mad it wasn't shadow dropped. I was like praying. I was like, now, right now.
Available today. Nah, dude, that was so the rumor is And we'll get back to the other announcements, but the rumor is that Sony's picking up Konami IP. Like that's been circulating for years, but dude, this week alone has been multiple reports. It's like boom, rumor is Sony's picked up the Metal Gear and Silent Hill, Metal Gear and Silent Hill, and then it's like out of nowhere, it's like also here's this Cowabunga collection. So Konami's making moves, and it seems like Sony's in bed with them. And so it really does kind of stand to like, to me, it makes sense. It's like, okay, not only is there a rumor that they're buying up some IP or buying the rights to the IP, but then they just like, here, we got a little bit of a marketing push or marketing deal for this Ninja Turtles thing. I'm like, I don't know, man. It just seems like this could be legit. Like that Sony could be, pulling some Houdini and getting all the good stuff for us, because how amazing. And that was so cool. Those games, dude. My brother and I played those games so much when we were kids. And it's the good Turtles in Time, not the remake of it.
No, it's all of them.
Oh,
the
that's
only
even
one
better.
that's not. The only one that's not in there is Reshelled, I don't think. But it has the arcade version, and it has the Super Nintendo version, and you get Hyperstone Heist for Sega Genesis.
Yes.
And you get Turtles, and you get the arcade version of the first game, and you get the Nintendo port of it. You get there's 13 games in it. There's all 3 versions of Tournament Fighter. Then there's Fall of the Foot Clan for Game Boy, Radical third one called Radical Rescue, and then there's Back to the Sewer. Those are the Game Boy games. I can't believe I remember all the names of these. Actually, no, I can. I know. I'm not stupid.
Yep.
I'm a fucking Ninja Turtle fanatic. Of course,
there
I
you
know
go.
the names of these things. I've owned all these games individually, and I am super excited. Darrell, I actually think I just want to do what we were going to do on Justin's show, and I think I'm just going to invite Justin on here, and you and I are just going to spit Turtles games with Justin for an hour.
Let's do it.
I think we're going to do it. Like, Justin, if you're listening, this is definitely a formal invitation to come on the Loot Bros, and we're just going to talk about Ninja Turtle games for an hour, because even more than an hour if you want to.
All night long.
I am ready to do this now. I am this collection is my it's going to be my game of the year. I know nothing can touch this. Nothing can touch this now.
Dude,
nothing.
Yes.
If it's handled correctly, if this is even half as good as like the Disney Afternoon collection,
if it works,
which we never got physical, which I thought was like fucked up that we never got a physical version of the Disney Afternoon collection.
Yeah,
like we got Lion King physical.
I did,
but no Disney Afternoon collection.
It's kind of weird.
Did you buy the new one?
I didn't buy the Disney Afternoon collection.
Did you buy the new version of it?
The Lion King Aladdin collection.
Yeah, there's a new one that comes to Jungle Book as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, the Jungle Book DLC is like $10 though, so you can just buy the Jungle Book DLC if you want.
So,
and then you can play Jungle Book. But if you buy the DLC, so it adds Jungle Book and it adds Aladdin Super Nintendo in.
Oh, dang!
Yeah, they added a lot to it. Yeah, it's $10.
That's
I think it's someone said there's a PS5 version of it, but I don't think that's true.
Oh, well, if there is, I'll platinum it again. So,
I mean, that took 5 seconds to platinum, because you could literally just fast forward the game to the end credits and you beat the game.
So I put something out.
Just the tip.
Yeah, I know, right? I put something out on Facebook for predictions on the actual state of play, and it wasn't like a formal. We're going to do something on the show about it, but it was like,
we should have. I would have.
Well, I didn't, it was kind of last minute. I was at work. I'm like, you know what? I'll listen to this on the way home once I pick up my old lady's vehicle. And I wasn't really expecting it to be anything great, And, dude, so I had said on there, I didn't think that there was going to be anything for Ghostwire Tokyo, because I kind of figured they would just let Ghostwire Tokyo come out and die. Well, they definitely didn't do that.
They're not letting that game die. They put money into that game, Darrell.
Yeah, but they haven't really hyped it up, and I'm assuming that's because of the games that's coming out around it. But man, they're sticking with it. They're doing the opposite of what I thought they would do.
The same Microsoft. We don't have to hype our games. You buy them, and they're 8 out of 10s or 9 out of 10s. Like, you don't need to hype shit. Look at all the games they put out. Just look at the year of video games that we're in right now. Like, all 3 of us, like, just look at the year we're having right now. It's 8
amazing.
Out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s.
Yep.
This might be the first year where we get 5 10 out of 10 games. That's insane.
It's incredible, dude. And that's why I've been like each week I'm like, man, we're getting ready to get slammed with these crazy games. So
Gran Turismo 5 comes out, or not Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto 5 PS5 comes out next week.
I know. Again, for the third time.
And I'm buying it again.
I don't blame you.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I really want to buy the collection now because I've been playing Vice City like crazy. I actually played that this week too. Vice City's pretty dope.
There you go.
Did you play it yet? Did you play it on PS?
No, I haven't played it. Dude,
it's on PS now. You better get on it before they.
I've got it downloaded. Yeah,
I've got San Andreas next week. Oh, I have one more question for all three of you. Kalai, I want you to go first. What classic set of games would you want remade into a collection?
Why do I have to go first?
Daryl and I have been talking for the last 20 minutes.
I know, but you just put me on the spot.
You want to wait? I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything right now.
I mean, I got the one I wanted, so I don't really know what to say at this point.
Why would you ask
This
that?
is what I've been dreaming of for years, but I say if I could get another one from Konami, I want the Castlevania DS games. Those games are absolutely phenomenal. They're probably 3 of the best Castlevania games ever made. Games are real good, and I want them. And I would want a Fire Emblem collection too, of all the like classic ones. That'd be pretty cool too, and maybe a new Ninja Gaiden collection, maybe, or just give me the Super Nintendo one on the eShop or on the Nintendo thing. But Daryl, what would you want to see?
So if I could pick, I would start off with the original trilogy of the Capcom original trilogy of the Resident Evil games. Like, the remakes are good, but the original games are, or at least the original 2 and 3 are still better than the remakes, in my opinion. I would want a Outbreak collection because just the infrastructure now, it just makes sense. Rumor has it that the Outbreak games are getting remade right now. We'll see.
Oh my God. Is this like the year of Resident Evil? Because we're getting all the remastered, all the PS5 ports for all the other ones.
Yes, we're getting all the PS5 ports. We're getting Village DLC. We're getting RE-verse.
Dude, we're getting PS5 ports. We're going to be able to play those games for trophies again, Daryl. How excited are you? I'm super jazzed, man.
Trophies and freaking haptic feedback, dude. And
Resident Evil 7 with trophies on PS5.
Yeah, it's happening.
Oh.
So I would say those, and I would say, Sony needs to buy up Square Enix and then pump out the freaking oh goodness, I can't think now. Parasite Eve. I need the Parasite Eve games re-released with trophies and then remastered.
You don't want PlayStation to buy Square Enix because all they'll do is pump out more Final Fantasy games.
I mean, that's happening.
That's happening anyway.
That's happening, yeah. So, but yeah, I want I need someone to put the foot on the gas with some Parasite Eve, man. It just doesn't make any sense why that franchise is dead.
I don't know how we haven't got a remaster of the first game. I don't even care about the second game. Second game is okay, but the first game is an absolute masterpiece.
I love the second one too, but yeah, I agree. The first game is just doesn't make any sense. We should have that. So, with the state of play. I made Kalai. Did you come up with the games that you wanted yet? Before I jump into this,
I did.
Go for it.
My first game is, I will agree, a Fire Emblem trilogy would be awesome, but also a Pokemon trilogy on the Switch.
Ooh, what would you just want, like red and blue,
blue, yellow,
silver, red, blue? Ooh, I would say give me Pokemon Legacy Collection, right? Hear me out. It's
okay.
red and blue. It's red and blue, gold and silver, ruby and sapphire, and black and white, in one set.
Nice.
That's a lot of games.
Pretty much all the ones we didn't get yet, like remasters of yet. So, well, we got remasters. I mean, I wish we could have a new Pokemon in the style of like Legends Arceus or like even just like Sword and Shield of Pokemon Red and Blue. Like, I wish we would have gotten that. Like, I'm really mad that got the Let's Go treatment because the first games are just so classic, and those 150 Pokemon, they're near and dear to so many people's hearts because they were the first set, and they're just so memorable.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, state of play. So what I did was I put something out in the Facebook group, and I said, let's make some predictions, and I threw some out there. I said we would get a brand new IP announced, and not only did we get a brand new IP announced, we got a couple of them. So earlier we were talking about the wannabe Dino Crisis being Exoprimal, a new Capcom game. So I'm in just because it's Capcom. It looks the portals filled with raptors seemed a little repetitive in the trailer. So I don't know. This is going to be like a dinosaur World War Z kind of thing. But it's Capcom. It's going to happen. I'm going to buy it. I said we would get an update on Reverse and RE8 DLC. That did not happen. I said there'd be some weird anime games. There was plenty of that. So points on the weird anime games. How about that JoJo's Bizarre Adventures? Like, that was pretty wild.
I was like, look, Bandai Namco or whatever company makes those anime fighting games. We have to get another one. You have to get one a year. Like, it doesn't like. I'm surprised we didn't get a new Muso game in this thing too, because there's like a 50 million of those too.
Yeah.
Well, we already got the new Muso game. We got it over at the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, we'll get more this year. Don't worry, Kalai. But yeah, we're gonna get like One Piece Pirates 5 or whatever the number they're on now, and
then the next thing I said would be no mention of Ghostwire Tokyo. That was incorrect.
We failed on that one. I knew you would get that because that comes out in like 2 weeks, doesn't it?
Dude, I think I got to get it. I think I got to buy it.
No, man. I think you should wait. I think it's going to be $20 real quick. Like, straight up. It's going to be cheap.
And then I threw a safe one out there. I said there would be no new announcement of studio acquisitions, which was almost like unfair because they wouldn't do that in State of Play. But what I did not expect was this Returnal Ascension update that adds co-op and a survival mode. Dude, how freaking cool is that?
Oh, yeah.
Did they add easy mode too, so you can beat it?
I'll never beat it if they don't. Well, my son's going to have to get really good at it and co-op it with me.
Well, you can save now in the game too. They already had that in the last update. You don't have to. You can save in the middle of your runs now.
Yeah, but it's not a good save. It auto deletes itself after you load it. So it's a one and done kind of save. Now you can manipulate it. But
you can manipulate it though, and you can probably send it to the cloud if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but yeah. It was a good one, man. Like, that was some cool stuff. And that Trek to Yumi was that black and white samurai western looking game. That looked awesome. So, like, for me, this was a good one. I was very impressed, and it gave me things that I didn't know I wanted or needed. But that Ninja Turtles collection that was a grand slam. That was so cool. I called my brother. I was like, dude, they're putting all the Ninja Turtle games on the PlayStation. Oh my God. And he was like super excited. He goes, man, I hope they put them on PC.
I literally told my wife, I'm like, I gotta buy that shit 3 times at least.
At least.
I gotta have a physical collection. I gotta have a PS4 physical or PS5 physical. And then I gotta buy it for the Switch because I have to play it on the Nintendo handheld, like wherever I can go. I want to be able to pop that shit out, play Ninja Turtles. And then I'm obviously gonna want to play it at midnight when it comes out on PS5. But so then I know that, they're gonna get my money. And then, fuck it, if Limited Run makes like a collector's edition of that, I'm all over that. Like, that is one I will not miss. Like, I will spend money on those dudes forever. And I think it's interesting that they're just like, hey, we're just going to do this physical too, because a lot of those collections aren't getting physical releases right away. And I think I think a lot of these companies are starting to see the value in physical media again. And not everybody wants physical games in their collection. And I think we're going to see a lot of physical stuff going forward for people.
I don't know if you follow PlayStation Universe or Push Square, but they'll post. It's like, hey, UK sales numbers, 50%, 80% were physical, like big of the big games. So it's people still buy. I know we get told that digital's the way, but I'm telling you right now, you can't trust the cloud.
You can't. So. You cannot trust the cloud, people.
You guys got anything else you want to add before we bounce out of here?
I mean, I definitely thought that the State of Play was going to be a wash, and I can't believe that's usually like those collection games. Usually, games that get announced in like a tweet
or a blog post, yeah.
But I mean, oh man, I'm still in shock and all that. I watched it like 5 times, Darrell. I'm not gonna lie, I watched that 5 times in a row after I watched it because I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Dude, I showed it to my kids. I was like, look at this. And they're like, oh, are we buying that, Dad? I'm like, absolutely.
Not buying that, Dad?
Yeah. Like, why would you even ask me? What kind of father would I be if I didn't buy this game?
You're like, I will sell you if you don't think I'm buying this.
So I'm stoked, man. That's gonna be a big one. So that's gonna be a fun game. I get to play that with my boys. I get to play that with my daughter. I get to play that with all three of my kids. 4-player Ninja Turtle arcade. Like we're gonna be streaming that junk. That's gonna be Elsor friggin' stream house right there.
Well, I have a question for you. Is it going to? We'll be able to play co-op over the internet.
Yes. Yes. They all could even said it. Like it said multiplayer online and local. It said it right at the bottom.
Because I like to play those games, but I like to play them with other people, and Jim will not play that with me.
Well, Jim needs to come off his high horse.
Well, I will play it with you.
I'll play it. Yeah, that'd be a blast. That's the type of game we can play during the podcast too. We can all log in together and be friggin' Ninja Turtle beating them up while we talking about video games.
It's just a cool collection because it's a lot of side scrolling beat 'em ups in one set. And those games are just good. Even the Game Boy games were really, really good. Like, really good. And I'm excited to play them all again. So.
Yep, same. I'm ready.
I will have a definite review when that game comes out. Like, full review.
Oh, yeah. We can. That could be a backlog beatdown. A deep dive for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Reliving our childhoods through the Ninja Turtles. I bought every one of those games, or my dad bought every one of those games for us as kids, and we were such huge Ninja Turtle fans. So those were so good. I spent so many quarters at Chuck E. Cheese playing the arcade game, or the arcade version of the first game.
Oh, my friends and I beat it every year on his birthday. We go to Yestercades. It's an arcade in Red Bank, New Jersey. And that's the first thing we play every time we get there. We beat it every single year. The first thing we do. And then so cool. I'll take a break. I'll go around. I'll play WrestleFest. That's one of our other. Then we'll play a game of NBA Jam. And then I'll go back and beat it again because it's that good of a game. And it just holds up. It's just one of the best arcade games ever made. So good. Oh my God. Just like when you add like quarters in, it's like Cowabunga. It's like, oh God. Like I just want to. Oh man.
It's like Joe's got the O face. It's like, ooh.
Dude, I can't right now. I'm so like, I literally wanted to cry because like I never thought I'd have the opportunity to play those on a console. At least not all of those games, but they're all coming. Even the notorious NES game. Yeah. I can't believe I spent probably 30 minutes of the show talking about this collection already. Dude. And it was a 3-minute trailer. Not even 3-minute trailer. Was it like 90 seconds? It was quick.
Hey man, yeah. My wife can attest to 90 seconds will leave you talking for the rest of your life.
Jesus God, Darrell. On that note, thank you for tuning in to the Loot Bros podcast. Jesus.
All right, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kalai. We're going to cut over to the interview portion of the show. I hope you guys like this nice, meaty episode. It's a bit of a reunion for the Loot Bros because the three of us haven't been together in a while.
It's time! It's time! It's interview time!
Whoa, whoa.
All right, guys, this is the part of the show where we sit down with our interview for this week, and we've got something very, very special. Per listener request, shout out to I'm Styling on You Bro. We have one half of the White Boyz Wit Attitude. We have Michael here with us tonight. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, thank you for going out of your way to make this happen. I know that we were messaging back and forth, and you had to kind of make some accommodations to get on the show tonight. So we definitely appreciate it, and we definitely want to be respectful of your time. So just to kind of jump right into things, full speed. If you don't mind, just kind of telling the audience kind of who you are and what you do, and what is the White Boyz Wit Attitude.
Sure. It's hard to dive in on that. It's White Boyz Wit Attitude's been a music project that my friend and I, the other half, Adrian, he wasn't able to come tonight. We've been doing that for since 2007. So that's That's 15 years now. So yeah, it's been a while. But I also make video games. So
Okay.
I'm the game developer side of it, you could say. So I started making games just for fun when I was younger, just like I started making music for fun. That's how the White Boyz started, actually. It was just kind of a joke. And as time went on, I started making games for Xbox 360. There was a channel, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, it was called the Xbox Live Indie Games channel. And it was kind of like the public access channel, basically, on Xbox 360. Anybody could publish a game on there. So it was kind of notorious for having stuff like back massagers, like you turn the controller on, it would vibrate, you put it on your back. Like it was notorious for having like a bunch of crap on it.
Yes.
But that's how I got my start, though. I wasn't making White Boyz games. I was making like I think my first game on there was a clone, basically, of Star Wars Rogue Squadron. It was like a 3D space shooter, kind of in the vein of that. I grew up playing Rogue Squadron. I just thought it would be cool to put up a game, and it had a decent amount of downloads. It sounds kind of cliche, but it kind of changed my life. I was like, whoa, people are actually playing this. I wasn't expecting anyone to play the game. And then from there, I made like more and more games on that channel, and eventually I started pursuing it full time. I became an official developer with Sony, and we put out some games on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Switch. Kind of built up the reputation or relations, I guess you could say, with the the console holders. And all this stuff was just like serious games. But during all of this time, we were still making White Boyz music as a joke. I guess it all started. My friend, the other half of the White Boyz, Crushed Ice, or Adrian, whichever name you want to use. We started back in 2007. We were pretty young at the time. I think I was like 13 or 14. But it was around the time that Crank That Soldier Boy song came out. And Adrian, he was a big fan of like 90s rap. Like he was real big into like Bone Thugs and Harmony, and like Dr. Dre, like all like the classic 90s stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I was actually into rap at the time. He got me into it, but he was always complaining. We'd come home from school and chat on Yahoo Messenger, and he's always talking about, dude, I can't believe what's going on with rap music right now. This Soulja Boy song, people actually think this is good. Blah blah blah. And at one point, he said, these were his words. I remember the day very clearly. He was like, dude, if you and me made a song, it'd be better than half of the stuff people are listening to these days. And, he was just joking, right? But like I said, I was always messing around with music at the time. And I made like a little techno beat. It was just I threw it together really fast. And I threw it to him. I sent it to him. And I think I did a quick verse on it, and it was horrible. And he thought it was funny, so he recorded on it too, and we laughed about it. And 15 years later, we're still doing it.
History.
Yeah, rest is history. So yeah, that's the story.
That's amazing. That's awesome. All right, so there's obviously, and our audience knows that like I get to talk to someone about music. We could go off forever on that one. So I'm going to sprinkle in some of our listener questions. So we might bounce all over the place. We might go games, music, random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious, since you were talking about the game development stuff, like what other games have you made besides the White Boyz games? Do you have what other things would we recognize that you were a part of?
Well, so I do indie games. So like I work on smaller titles, but my biggest games, there's one called Pillar, and then there's another one called The Path of Modus, and both of those came out for PS4. I was on before we started recording, we were talking about CJ and the Push to Plat podcast. He was actually familiar with those games. I brought him up. He was surprised. He's like, oh yeah, I 100% that. I got the Plat on that. So I think maybe in the trophy hunting communities, those games might be a little more well known. But yeah, those are my two biggest games. And then we did White Boyz after that.
I mean, White Boyz is dead. We definitely stumbled on it because it was an easy platinum, or it would have been easy platinum if not for some nefarious control stuff. And I know because I know, but like, yeah, the games definitely caught my interest. My buddy, we were actually gonna have him on tonight because he's a huge fan of your guys' music and actually knew you guys before the game, which I was like, because he lives in Canada, so he heard of you guys, and I was like, oh man, I'll check it out. And like I was listening to the music, and I was like, this is not half bad for like white boy rap. This is very interesting.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, no,
Now-
the controller thing you mentioned, that was actually so the way I programmed the motion, you're not actually supposed to use the controller in the way that I was trying to use it, right? Like that's not really what that little gyroscope thing is for. But I just thought it was funny, so I was like, yeah, whatever. It might not work quite right, but it's a laugh, so I just stuck with it.
So now when you're talking about Pillar is the little puzzle platformer that you made, correct?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's the thing. I own your games. I just haven't got to them yet.
Oh.
Now I've played some Whiteboyz, but yeah, I'm very much in the trophy community with CJ. Not near to his degree, but I pretty much glean information from him. So he's like, "Oh, I platinum like 1,100 games today,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, which ones did you play that I could maybe knock out this afternoon?"
Yeah.
And so that's one of them. I was actually just looking at my list. I'm like, wait a second, I think I got that one. then-
That's cool. Yeah.
And then I'm not sure. I'm looking up now Path of Modus just to make sure.
Well, the Path of Modus, that one's got the platformer aspects to it. Pillar is just pure puzzle. Yeah, that's like a pure puzzle game.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, yeah, I mean, like, obviously the games you've announced, are you currently working on anything?
Yeah, I've been working on a new game for the last couple of years. For about 3 years now, actually, in April. It's not to the point where I can talk about it yet because it's still got crummy programmer art. Because that's the one thing I can't really do that well is the art. So usually I'm pretty late with announcing my games because I don't want to announce it when it looks like a 3-year-old drew it right now, right? So, but eventually when we get some professional art in it, yeah, I've got another game that's going to be coming out. Hopefully I can say something towards the end of this year. But yeah, I've been working hard on that. Yep.
That's very cool. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to kind of plug in a couple of the questions now while we're talking about the actual, the game side of things. And one of those questions, I'm just going to kind of jump into it. What advice would you have to give a listener that's interested in creating video games? Like, how would you say you want to do a game, get started like this?
Well, I think it's a good idea to start small. It's real easy to, like, for your first game to be like, oh, I'm going to make a MMO RPG or something really massive, right? You want to start small with something you can actually get done within maybe 6 months. I'd say just follow, if it's something you're passionate about. Definitely there's plenty of educational materials on YouTube. I actually, for a while, I was putting up tutorial videos about how to program, and eventually we recreate the engine that I use for Pillar and Path of Modus. So if anyone's interested in that, I actually have some YouTube videos to kind of help people get started learning game development and even just programming in general. Like if you've never programmed, I think if you go to pathofmodus.com, I think you should find a link to the YouTube channel with all of those videos. So yeah, I mean, I think like all the technical stuff, it's sometimes people ask me like, should I go to college for games? I did. Like I went to a game-specific college, Full Sail University. And it's like you don't really have to go to college to learn games or learn programming. I feel like there's just so much stuff online to learn. So as long as you got the passion for it, just start small and work on something you're really into and give it your all, and I think you'll have good results.
Now, is there a game engine that you would recommend to start with, or would you say like Unity or something like that? Just jump into it.
Well, I wrote my own engine for the games I put out, and in the series that I just talked about on my YouTube channel, I show you how to program your own like 2D game engine. I'm kind of biased towards doing it that way, but that's how I learned. I just feel like you get a better idea of what all goes into making a game when you kind of do it yourself to an extent. Like I do use, I don't want to get too techie here, but there's some people who write their whole engine using C++, which is like the lowest level programming language. I don't do that. Like I don't go that low level, but I still feel like if you can see the code for how most things work, I think that helps a lot. So I would recommend trying to write something on your own, but if that's just really something people don't want to do, I guess Unity. But like I've heard kind of some horror stories from other developers, like Unity, if you're going to eventually release your own games, at one point you had to like pay money after if you sell a certain number of copies, you have to buy a license, and there are other problems. I heard people saying that they had problems optimizing their game to have good performance on console. I think they had to buy a special license to like see how Unity worked under the hood. That's what I've heard. So I don't know how accurate that is nowadays, but that's another pro of writing your own engine is you have control over all that stuff, right? So if there's a problem, you don't have to pay any money. You can just open up the hood and do it, right? So
that's awesome. So I'm going to pitch a game to you real fast. All right.
Okay.
So I had this idea. This is pre me learning about the Whiteboyz Wit Attitude. So I got to say, I'm a little envious of you, a little jealous. Back in the My Name is Mayo, My Name is Mayo trophy. I don't know if you've ever heard of the game My Name is Mayo, but it's essentially a mayonnaise jar on a screen with very simple music in the background, and your little cursor is a floating hand, and you click the button and you tap the mayonnaise jar, and after a certain amount of taps, a little dialogue box pops up, and you get a little outfit. You dress your mayonnaise jar, and it tells the story of this developer as he or she is kind of growing up, going through puberty, like disappointing their dad, all that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it is all built around giving the player easy PlayStation trophies. Okay. And it was kind of like it's like it opened the floodgates to all these easy trophy and easy achievement games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had this idea, if you take like just look at the South Park characters, right? You know how like Terrence and Phillip, like they don't really talk with their mouths, their head just kind of pops up and down.
Yeah.
I had this idea after playing My Name is Mayo, where you would have like a little South Park style character that its only animation was headbanging, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you just sit there and click the button, and you play a song in the background. And I had this idea. I was like, I can push my own music that I write, and then sell this game where you're just headbanging to my music, song after song after song. You play through all the songs, you do all the headbanging, you get an easy platinum. My Name is Mayo. And then I discovered that you guys made music videos that you had to interact with to get trophies to push your music. So how did that get started?
No, we didn't do that to push our music, man. What are you talking about? It was
Oh yeah, because the DLC isn't an album.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's true. But I actually started. By the way, I wrote down your idea. I'm going to go home and do that now. Thank you. No,
hey, you know what? Talk to me. I'd love to work with you on that one.
No, just kidding. No, it actually started. The idea for the actual Whiteboyz game was actually a combination of a few things. So I was actually, before that, I was making like a serious game, but I was really interested in trying to explore ways that you could, because I love music games, rhythm games, right? And I was trying to explore like, what if I made a concept album, but you could only really fully experience it like through a game or through interactive methods, right? So I had like made this album where it was all dynamic music, right? And the only way you could really fully experience the album was to play it and like hear all the different tracks. You could go into different rooms and hear different songs, or it would play different ways and so on. So I had this whole idea, and I ended up scrapping it because I didn't like how it was turning out. But I still was thinking, like, man, wouldn't it be cool? Like somehow you could still have something with music based in a game. And then around the same time, we were going to call Whiteboyz Quits. I think we had played a show. It was actually our very first live show, and we had kind of advertised to people that this is the first Whiteboyz show and the last because we're quitting. Like this is our send-off.
One and done.
Yeah, it's our one and done. This is like our send-off show to kind of celebrate all of the music or whatever. And then after the show, like people really seemed to like it. Like people were really into the music and stuff. And a couple people, they told me like, dude, you should quit making games and like become a rapper. And they're probably being sarcastic, right? But it made me think like, man, we have all this music from Whiteboyz. Then that game idea that didn't really come out of the oven. Why don't I just like throw together a little game that's based around the Whiteboyz stuff, and we just kind of throw it out there as a joke or whatever? And that's how all that started. So we're actually going to quit Whiteboyz. So but yeah.
Well, that was brilliant. Yeah. By the way, I mean, like, as a musician and a trophy hunter, that's like the golden grail. That was like amazing. I was like, this is so cool. So totally, I thought that was very, very, very cool. So, and obviously, you know, we've got people in our community that all agree because, you know, you guys have been, your name gets thrown around a decent amount, you know, like, and like I said, people have reached out and said, hey, have these guys on. So you guys definitely, maybe you sought out for it to be funny and be a joke and be a one-off, but it definitely is a thing. And if you continued, I guarantee you there's at least a dozen of us that would support you 100%.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reaction to the game actually has made us want to continue. So, like, we're not officially over with, but we're kind of in a little bit of a hiatus right now because Crushed Ice, he just had a kid, and so that's kind of taking up his time. But the plan is we're eventually wanting to make a comeback. We got some ideas for some new music and a new game project. So, yeah, that's definitely awesome. The reaction from especially kind of the underground, like, trophy communities and stuff, it's inspired us to keep going for sure. Which maybe people are rolling their eyes right now, like, "Oh God!"
Well, but there's no eye rollers in our audience. All right. No. As a matter of fact, there's so I never finished White Boyz Wit Attitude, and then earlier this year, when I messaged back and forth with you, I was like, man, I really need to finish the game so that I'm like completely versed on, you know, what we're talking about. Cause like I played the beginning of it and I played it on an alternate account, and here's why.
You didn't want to show up. You didn't want to list it. I know.
No. I will list it. I will 100% platinum that game. But we have a trophy competition going on between myself and the host of another podcast, and we're barred from playing spam games or like easy trophy games. And I knew that CJ was a fan of this game. I bought this game when I heard the episode that you guys, you know, did on his show. So however many, that was like 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, I bought your game then. But I buy so many games, it's just kind of sat on the backlog, and I'm like, I'm gonna get to it. So then I did the first song, the Where the Perp song.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I'm like, I don't. This might be considered an easy trophy game. So I was like, I don't want to mess up my streak.
Well, depending who you're talking to, I mean, like somebody, I think Joe said it was. Some people think it's impossible to get that Where the Perp trophy. Like, I've had comments, we still get comments once in a while on YouTube. People are like, you can't actually get that trophy. It's like, oh, you can. You know, you just have to have the right method. You have to have the special touch. You know what I mean?
So, a turbo controller?
Yeah, that too, right?
I've got one of those. I mean, if that helps. But so I've never been able to talk with anybody who actually has been responsible for putting trophies in a game. Like, how is that experience working with Sony? Is it like, do you just put that in whenever you want and then submit a list and say, hey, this is the trophies, this is where they're at? Or there's like, do they have to like Q&A that stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah, they give developers the freedom to come up with the trophies, and then you implement them and everything. But then it does have to go through QA. So there were people at Sony that wore the perp. And I think there was actually something I can't remember now. I can't technically talk about what their requirements are because that's like NDA or whatever. They get real touchy. But I can, we can come up with them and they test them. And I can't remember exactly, but for some reason, somebody that was in the QA team, they sent me a message. They had some kind of problem with the Where the Perp level. I can't remember what it was now. But I had to talk to him about it. It was funny because they were trying to be so professional about everything. It's like,
oh my gosh,
they're doing the dancing, you know. So.
That's so funny. So they actually have to go through and test it.
Yes, yeah, they have a pretty rigorous QA. Yeah,
that's amazing. That means that you could sit there and like, you know, make them do all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So like that is awesome. That just opened my mind is just going a mile a minute now because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if you You made them do
there's certain things you can't do. Yeah, there's certain things you can't do. That's the stuff I can't talk about. But they do have certain limitations. But other than that, yeah, you're free to do whatever. Yeah.
Got you. That's really cool. That's really cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, how was just kind of like taking a step back? How was it working with Sony overall? Like, was it difficult to get your game on the PlayStation?
Well, I had worked with them before under like a more professional context, right? Like I was publishing serious games before this, so I kind of already had my foot in the door. But yeah, it's come a long way. Before, like when I first started doing this, you had to get like ratings in all the different regions. So I had to like go to PEGI and like submit the game to them and have them rate it. PEGI's the European ESRB,
Right?
Basically. Then you have to go to ESRB and get that rating, and like so a lot of that stuff they've simplified over the years. It's become a lot easier to kind of get your game through. And there's been people there that I have an account manager, they call them, and she's been real supportive of everything, and they always try and do their best to make sure the launches are successful. So I've always loved working with them overall, and it's been smoother as the years have went on, I think. Yeah,
that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. So that's really interesting. Oh man, I'm telling you, there's so many things I want to ask now, but I'm sure there's a lot of it you can't say.
Well, you can try. Yeah, I'll answer what I can.
I mean,
yeah.
is it true that they give you like a value system that you can't eclipse, right? Correct.
Wait,
with the trophies.
The trophies, like they have to, like the gold, silver, they all have to equal out to like a certain percentage, correct?
It's a little more complicated than that. Like certain games can only have certain, like you guys probably know this, right? But like certain games can't have platinums, right? And they have certain criteria for what that is. Again, I can't go into exactly what that is, but they have certain criteria that some games can't have platinums, and you have to make sure the total points are within a certain range. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, have you with your next game, are you aiming to split it between PS4 and PS5, or are you just going to kind of land wherever you can get?
The aim right now is to try and do both PS4 and PS5. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And now, is the White Boy? I don't know this. I didn't look, and I probably should have if I was being a good host. Is White Boyz Wit Attitude on Xbox?
No, it's not. No.
Okay. Have you done any work with Xbox since your 360 days?
Yeah. So both Pillar and The Path of Modus are on Xbox One.
Okay.
And I work with them pretty closely. Microsoft's pretty nice to work with as well. But no White Boyz on Xbox. And the reason for that is because of the motion aspect of it.
Yeah.
I kind of geared all that towards the PlayStation. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Gaz Davis writes in and he asks a series of questions. So I'm gonna shoot them at you real fast. Okay. He wants to know what your favorite genre of games are.
Oh, that's hard. That's changed throughout the years. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. There was a period of my life where I was really into RPGs. Nowadays, I've been into simulation games, so like city builder games and things like that. That's my current favorite. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. He asks, what was the driving force behind choosing to develop your own game?
Like originally when I first started, you think?
Just like, did you ever think about going and working for like a company once you learn how to make games, or you just?
Well, when I went to college, again, the dream at the time was, well, maybe I'll end up working at a studio or something. But I always wanted to kind of be my own. Like I wanted to try and have my own business and be my own boss somehow. But it took me a while to kind of piece together how exactly I was going to do all this. And like I said, when I put the game up on the 360, that's when I had the aha moment of like, man, if I really put some effort into this, maybe I could make this a full-time gig. Right. So like as I put, when I was first starting out, it was more like, man, wouldn't it be cool to put a game up on Xbox 360? That would be so awesome. But then after that happened, it became kind of a kick in the butt where I was like, well, let's try and take this more seriously and see if we can do it professionally. Yeah.
There you go. Have you ever been hit up by any recruiters or had any offers to come work at other studios, or you just kind of stay in your little area and do your thing?
Yeah. I have friends that work at Rockstar and in the industry, and a couple of my friends I went to college with, right out of college, they went to go work on Red Dead Redemption 2, and they wanted me to come too. Not that I would have immediately gotten in just because they wanted me to come, but yeah, I just I prefer to be independent.
Yeah.
I don't like. There's a lot of I don't want to. It's kind of like an indie thing to down the big game studios, but there's a lot of really talented people that work there. But I kind of value the creative freedom of doing my own thing, and you just really can't do that in the studio system, right? There's a whole lot of politics in it, and you can't just I'd like to put this into the game. Like there's a whole procedure you have to go through to do anything, right? So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Cool. All right, and his last question he has is what did he said, did the release of your game have any effect or raise your profile as a musical artist?
I suppose so. I don't. We've never really had any like big music outlets cover us or anything like that. But I think a lot of people. I remember the year that the game came out. At the end of the year, a bunch of people had their end of the year Spotify, roundup things. I remember seeing a bunch of people. They had Whiteboyz on their top plate of the year or whatever. So I think that counts for something. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So, I got a personal question for you as far as the Whiteboyz Wit Attitude. What does a typical writing session look like with you and Crushed Ice?
Well, we've done it in different ways. So when we first started out back in the day, remember we met on a Star Wars fan site for Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, like back in 2005. So when we first started out, we were doing this all through the internet, right? So like I would record a verse, I'd send it to him, he'd listen to it, then he'd write his verse and then send it back to me over the internet, right? And that's how we would do like the whole album. But then eventually, when I moved to Florida for college, we moved in together. And at that point, well, actually, let me backtrack. There were some times for our second album where he actually flew up to where I was at, and we would we would record in person. And that was a totally different experience that we really enjoyed. And then after that, we moved in together. And that's at that point, ever since we've recorded, we're doing it in person. And there's a lot more instantaneous back and forth when we're writing the songs. I'd say that usually we start by thinking of the album as a whole. So we try and both of us were kind of the opinion that the album should be like an experience, right? Or kind of feel like a movie, maybe. So we kind of think from beginning to end, like what's the flow of the album? And then we'll come up with kind of song ideas. And then from there, we'll fill in all the details with the actual, the production and the actual lyric writing, and we fill it in from there. So we kind of start with the big picture, and then we hone in on the details.
There you go. That's pretty awesome. So, now, is it like a 50-50 split with that kind of stuff as far as creative input goes? Or is there like one of the two of you that, I mean, I know you said that y'all at times will send verses back and forth, but I mean, as far as the overall thing goes, because I've worked with artists and musicians for years, and every now and again, you'll just have like that one guy in the room that just like flows creativity and kind of leads the charge, or is it pretty evenly split between the two of you?
It's pretty evenly split. Yeah, we both usually equally contribute to basically everything. Like we rewrite our own verses, and usually in the songs, the verses are pretty even. Like I'll go a verse and he'll go a verse, and we're always really careful to kind of balance it out and not let one person overshine the other in terms of the creative input. And,
Sweet. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, I'm styling on you, bro. Writes in, and he wants to know, when will you guys put the album "The Pursuit of Money" on Spotify?
Probably never. Like we started off, we talked about this when we were going to release the game and album. Like, well, what platforms do we want to put this on? And part of the reason I wanted to do the album as an attachment or a DLC to the game is because I didn't touch on this, but I was making serious music. I was in a band too before all of this. And so I had experience like putting music up, and I was always really disgusted with these streaming platforms, like how little they pay artists.
Oh, yeah.
And so that it was kind of like a conscious decision to be like, we're not going to put this on Spotify. We're going to try and sell it in a different way, kind of come up with an alternative model of selling the music. And that was the original inspiration for like, okay, let's sell the album as a DLC and then have people discover the music through the game. So that was an experiment that I was, I felt like, why even have an experiment if we're just going to put it up on Spotify? Like, the reason we're doing this is to kind of give the middle finger to Spotify, I guess. So, yeah, that's probably never going to happen. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And the next thing that I'm styling bro ask is will you ever make a video for the heater? Everything's great.
Oh, he likes it. I remember. Yeah, he loved that song. Probably a video, like an official music video. Probably not. Just because, like, I feel like it's really hard for us to do things these days because, like, again, he's got the kid and then I'm working on the big game. So, like, when the time comes when we're actually going to do something new, I feel like both of us are going to be in the mindset of, like, we want to do something totally new, right? Like, new music, new game. So, yeah, probably not, but it would be cool to do that. But, yeah, probably not, unfortunately.
That's awesome. So, all right. So, same guy, I'm styling you, bro, writes in and says, on the gaming side, do you have any interest in ever making a simulator game?
It's ironic. Did he say that? When did he write that question?
I put a filler out 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay, that's ironic. Okay, so I'll tell you right now, the game I'm working on right now is a simulator game.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah,
He is such a simulator fan, dude. He is
really?
the sultan of simulators. Yes, absolutely.
The sultan of simulators.
Yeah. You guys got the exclusive scoop on that too. I don't think anybody. I've never even said it on my Twitter. Like, I just said it's going to be a sci-fi game. Yeah, I'm working on it's a sim game, a simulation game. Yep.
That's amazing. There you go. You heard it here first on the Loot Bros, baby. And he writes in a really good question, probably question of the week, if I'm being honest. And I'm not saying this because I'm biased, but he writes in his words. Since Darrell, which is me, likes the rap rock genre, will there ever be a Loot Bros White Boyz collab?
Well, maybe. I guess we could maybe do that. I don't know. I like Linkin Park type of stuff, right? That's what you mean by
absolutely.
yeah.
Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, all that stuff.
Yeah. No, Adrian and I were both really into, like, back in the day, like the early Linkin Park, and I think he was in the Limp Bizkit. I never got into them, but yeah, that's definitely a throwback to the past. I'll have to bust out those old records to get some influence.
So I'm in a band, and I've been in a band since 2006. We took several years off once we all had children. But we travel, we play metal. Like, we play heavy stuff, lots of screaming, lots of heavy, drop tune guitars, all that stuff. But when we did our little hiatus, when we all had children, I started a little side project, and so there's a rap rock band. And so I would write, just like metal tracks, heavy rock tracks, and then send them to a rapper friend of mine. And then one of my old co-hosts, he was a rap artist as well. So I would have these guys lay down verses on there. As a matter of fact, the opening theme song for our podcast is a song that we wrote, real heavy driving rock guitars, and then, some rap on there. And I've been playing the past several weeks. I've been at the end of each show, I've been ending it with one of those, rap rock collaboration songs. I've got, 8 or 9 of them, and then about 30 tracks that never got vocals on them.
Oh yeah.
And it was funny when you wrote that in, I was just like, man, I'm always down. I would love a Loot Bros White Boyz collab. I am always open for something like that.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we get a lot of requests for people wanting to do collabs. And it's just like, unfortunately, it's like I said, it's just real life stuff. And then my new project, it just takes all the time. But yeah, that would be so cool if we could somehow make that work.
Well, maybe we'll have to put a pin in that one. And once you get, a break in your game, or you get your game pushed out, we can revisit it, because that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
So, and I guess, Joe, you got anything you want to add before I throw this last one out?
No, go ahead. Throw the last question out.
All right, so outside of all the fun stuff, what I've been trying to do with each interview is it's kind of a messed up because I botched it this last week. But we've had a lot of different creators on. So this year for 2022 on the Loot Bros, we decided we were going to bring on creatives from all over. So we've had popular streamers on, we've had YouTubers on, we've had guys who made documentaries on. We've had a couple different comic book creators. One guy who owns a independent comic book publisher, one guy who just launched an independent comic book publisher, and then now we have a series of game developers coming on the next few weeks. So we've been trying to reach out into all of the different creative spaces, but also just selfishly reach out into all the things that I'm interested in. And one thing I've been trying to do is I've been trying to get whatever interview we have, whatever creative we have, to leave a question for the next creator. Mm-hmm. Now, last week on the last episode we did, we actually had a bit of an abrupt stop towards the end of the show, and I forgot to ask the question that was left over. So I'm going to ask it to you, but it technically won't apply to you because the other guy knew who the next interview was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm just going to condense it rather than making it personal. I'm going to ask the question, for giggles, and then I'm going to have you leave a question for the next interview we have.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. If you were to get a My Little Pony tattoo, where would you get said tattoo?
Right on my face. No.
Okay. So, and again, like I said, we have, I would just kind of let you in on it. We have a game developer coming on next. So any question in the world, anything you want to leave for our next guest, it can be like a serious question. It could be something funny. It could be whatever you want.
Let's see. Can I know who like I said, it'd be cheating if you told me who it was.
Well, I mean, I don't know that you'd be familiar with them, but it is a independent indie game dev called Plasma Beam Games.
Okay.
He's done a couple Steam games, and he's working on one of the biggest games he's ever done currently. He's been a guest on our show about a year and a half ago, something like that.
Okay. Let me think. What do you find cool about video games that no other medium can do?
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. So Michael, we totally appreciate your time. I told you we would keep this, at or under an hour. It looks like we're making pretty good time. Is there anything that you want to push, plug, say, before we get out of here?
I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a fun time. It's been nice to just kind of hang out and chat casually. I've been hard working on my new game, so I really like these times where I can get out and just chill with some people. So thanks for having me on. And I guess I can plug my, let's plug some Whiteboyz stuff too. How about that? Okay,
there you
go. If you go to wwarap.com, actually, let me make sure the website's still up. One second. Let me see. Hold up.
Wait a second. This is an adult site. You tricked me.
Yeah, it might be. I can't remember. Might be Whiteboyz Wit Attitude. Of course, it's not loading. Okay, there we go. Okay. No, try this one. Whiteboyz with a Z, witattitude.com. And then that's where we have all of our, you can find all of our videos, our YouTube channel, links to play the game. It's a free-to-play game on Steam. You can buy our album on Steam. All the links are right there. And then if you want to follow my personal, let's do Twitter account. My personal Twitter account is at MichaelArtsGame. So there's my plug.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely be getting all the links and stuff from you, and I will put that in the show notes. Michael, I want you to know you are always welcome on here whenever your game is done, or if you've got an update that you want to pimp out, feel free to message me, man. We will make time for you, let you get on here. And if you ever just kind of want to take a break and just chat about games or movies, comic books, just entertainment, something fun, music, anything. You ever just want to break away and say, you know what, I just kind of want to sit down with some dudes and have some conversations. This is totally the place for it, and you're always welcome to come back on here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. All right. So when we get done with this show, I'm going to send you a message, and then maybe we'll put something on the calendar tentatively, kind of see where you're at, see where we're going with things, and we can, if we got to move it around, we totally will. So
yeah, sounds like a plan.
I want to end the show with a special shout out, not only to our patrons, because we do have a Patreon and you guys have been really great to us. We threw some extra content on there for you guys this month. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to give a shout out just to the community in general, the other podcasters, the listeners. I'm styling on you, bro. Thank you for reaching out and expressing interest in this, because this has been a lot of fun. I love sitting down and talking with different developers and creative types, and hopefully, God willing, there will be a Loot Bros White Boyz Wit Attitude rap rock collaboration. So
stay tuned.
There you go. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Michael. We are out of here. All right, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed that interview. That was a great time talking with one half of the White Boyz Wit Attitude. I hope this was a nice, meaty show. It was great to have the cast back together. Unfortunately, the bearded nerd couldn't be with us because he was celebrating his daughter's birthday, which is a totally good excuse. But yeah, so that's us. We're back in the full swing of things. We've got another indie dev coming on next week. We've got another one lined up in the coming weeks. And then, like I said, I told you guys we'd take a little bit of a break from the interviews. If you enjoy what we've been doing, please give us some feedback. We've gotten a little bit so far, and it's been really great. Shout out to all you guys who have reached out to us and said, yes, no, maybe so, this is working, this is not. I'm going to end the show with a song from RPD called So On and So Forth. This song is one that I wrote years and years ago, and we had one of our old hosts at the time, Josh Craps, the Walking Idea, jump on and do a little bit of vocals too. So very fun song to do. This one was actually featured like on a radio hit years ago. Like this was kind of like, oh, here's these guys doing this rap rock stuff. And then Josh did a little interview kind of talking about his faith and how he puts that into music and all that good stuff. And it was, hey, here's this song that I collaborated with the dude from Ninja with. So it was pretty cool. So this is RPD featuring Georgia Red and J. Crew. At the time, it was J. Crew. I think it's JC Raps, Josh Craps. Who even knows? He's had 75 variations of his own name. So the artist formerly known as Josh Craps, the Walking Idea. The song's called So On and So Forth.
One life to live and then we die. Will we leave a legacy that we're proud of? Will we fight? Time marches on and never stops for anyone. Take a look back. Are you proud of what you've done? One life to live, we can't afford to mess around. As we stand in silence, our country crashes to the ground. I'll fight for freedom and truth. There's always freedom in you. The only one that can save us from all the bad that we do. I gladly stand on my beliefs, never try to push them over on anyone. We need to examine the things that we see every day. All these broken down people at the end of the road. So wait, I'm coming with hope. You want to see it? Here's a blanket to keep warm and a burger to eat and a pillow if you want to go to sleep. By the way, would you mind if we prayed? God always hears our voices. The sound of our voice we prayed. She started off on her way. She said this is a part of your legacy. You didn't even have to acknowledge me. You touched me in so many ways. I will forever remember this day. I refuse to take anything glory, because God is the only one worthy. We all need help in our life when things go crazy and get topsy-turvy. Love is the power, there's nothing alive that can take it away. So I ask, who have you loved today? One life to live and then we die. Will we leave a legacy that we're proud of? Will we fight? Time marches on and never stops for anyone. Take a look back, are you proud of what you've done? One life to live, we can't afford to mess around. As we stand in silence, our country crashes to the ground. I'll fight for freedom and truth, there's always freedom in you. The only one that that can save us from all the bad that we do. So many people keep dying, hit them all with a bang, bang. Thought they was living that life, but it's such a shame, shame. These mothers cry and scream, asking Lord, why me? Why couldn't we open his eyes and see what I see? Was playing basketball, took a fall and thrashed his knee. No more college for him, so he turned to the streets. He said, Mama, I love you, it's gonna be okay. I don't have nothing else, I have to make a way. Grabs a sack of the green as he steps out. Didn't see the car when they're down with the gun out. Rained out, shots fired, now he falling down. It was robbery that got him put inside the ground. One life to live and then we die. Will we leave a legacy that we're proud of? Will we fight? Time marches on and never stops for anyone. Take a look back, are you proud of what you've done? One life to live, we can't afford to mess around. As we stand in silence, our country crashes to the ground. I'll fight for freedom and truth, there's always freedom in you. The only one that can save us from all the bad that we do.
Yeah, what if I was this, what if I was that? Would you love me more, could it change the facts? What if I walked out the door and never came back? Would it make you happy, you appreciate that? You look me in my face and say you don't love me. Can I change something, can I change something, can I change something? Tell me your heart is beating, but you don't deserve it. You tell me I'm never good enough and you want me perfect. I try and be a good man, I guess I'm allergic. Guess I'm allergic, guess I'm allergic and I'm nervous. I fight this battle with you every day and night. I try to see the light, but it don't come in sight. Your words drag me to the floor, there's gotta be more. God, there's gotta be more to this life.
One life to live and then we die.